So for your birthday, you got $45 and you're looking to buy a handheld. You know the de minimis is coming and you want to get something quick. And you've decided you like the 3.5-inch Game Boy vertical size. So what do? There's so many choices. Oh my God, there's so many choices out there. And much like the building of this 3D printed item you're watching, you have to make a decision which ultimately could spiral out of control and really make things bad for you. But wait, Dead Fred is here to tell you about two contenders, the BatleXp G350 and the R36XX, our two picks for the ultra budget, under $45 vertical handheld. So stay tuned and check out which we think you should purchase. Kids, so today we're going to talk about whether you should get the R36XX with its Wi-Fi or the BatleXp G350 with its Rumble. Now, if you have $40 to spend before the de minimis hits and you're trying to decide on which 3.5-inch vertical you should get at a budget price, that's what we're going to talk about today. We've used both of these extensively. We've found both of these to be good devices. And there's always the R36S, the original, but there's no Wi-Fi built into that. So we're looking at the new R36XX and the BatleXp G350. So let's dive in and take a look and find out which one should you go for at that budget pricing. Stay tuned. This summer at Six Flags of Texas, come ride the all brand new Tyrannosaurus T-Rex up. No, wait, I don't work for Six Flags. I don't like roller coasters, but my wife loves them. Hey Deadheads, welcome back to the channel. Or welcome to the channel for the first time, new Deadheads. Today, we're going to take a look at what you can do with $40 to $45 in the 3.5-inch vertical handheld arena. All right, so let's start with the BatleXp G350. First, we want to thank our friends who have sent this over from 2 Retro. Go check out their shop. They have a lot of good items. They have a good support system. If you don't want to mess with AliExpress and you want to have better support, check out 2 Retro. And again, thank them for providing this G350 to us. This is not a review of the handheld. This is about whether or not you should pick this one over the R36XX, and which one ultimately I, Dead Fred, would pick between the two. So the BatleXp has essentially been shown to be something that Anbernic is involved with, although it's a new label for them. They don't want it to be under their label for whatever reason. However, let's talk about this device. Every time I pick it up, I'm reminded of how nice it feels to hold this device. The plastic that is used, the buttons that is used, it is just amazing. It is just awesome and amazing. And so I really love the feel of this. And I think that's what most people have discovered with it. When holding this in your hand, it just feels so nice and natural. The button placements, everything. In fact, I think it feels better than the 35XX. I've never held a 3.5 but you know, I think it feels as good as that as well. Anyways, the other problem to this is that it has a beautiful screen, okay? And the secret sauce. When we first reviewed this, and go check out our review of the BatleXp G350, when we first reviewed this and turned it on, I was surprised by the rumble. I didn't see that mentioned anywhere. And yes, this thing has rumble. So if you're going to play something like Drill Dozer on your GBA, it is really good to have the rumble feature. So I know there's not a lot of super rumble stuff happening in the retro world because rumble came along around the PlayStation time, but it is still a cool feature to have, and I think it's really amazing. The other thing is this thing comes in a nice pink colorway, and pink is in, guys. Pink is it, and so you can get the pink color. So I want to encourage you as well to check this out. Now, but this video is not about whether this is a good device or not, because the BatleXp is most certainly a good device, but it has a flaw. It has a big flaw. If you like retro achievements, if you like to be able to do port master, if you like to update easily, there's no Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi costs at most maybe $5 to $7 to add. I wish it had Wi-Fi, okay? But we have a solution, and that's where today comes in. The R36S, which has been our preferred budget handheld, has been replaced by the G350 in most instances. That is until recently, when we got our hands on the R36XX. And be sure to go check out our review of that one, because it has a built-in Wi-Fi. So let's talk about the R36XX now for a few minutes. So that R36XX, the R36S has been around approaching 2 years now. And when we first got our hands on the R36X way back when, we were very impressed. Now, to put things in perspective, a Rockchip 3566 was still over $100. The X55, the RGB 30 was about to come out, but you were still over $100 for the 3566. The 3326s were still in that $70 to $80 range. So when this R36S came out, and we were talking about a $50 handheld or under, it was good. Now, yes, you could tell that it didn't have the premium quality, or what we now consider to be the premium quality of something like Anbernic's devices, because you could tell in the plastic. But guess what? It was good plastic. It came after a sort of terrible R35S, and also after Powkitty's RGB 20S. So it kind of improved everything. A lot of people took to it. There's a huge community of R36S fans. But why? Why has it not had Wi-Fi until now? It's taking it a while. So take the formula for the R36S, add internal Wi-Fi, and bam. And that's what you have in the R36XX. So basically, you're looking at a handheld which, if you closed your eyes and you held onto it and felt it, I think that you would say this feels decent, budget, but decent. And if I swap the BatleXp in your hand afterwards, you go, oh man, that feels great. There's little doubt in my mind that if you favor the way something feels, the texture, the holding of it, the shape of it, the pressing of the buttons, the BatleXp is going to win here. But if you favor actual gaming, which is what these things are supposed to be, and you want to do retro achievements, and you want to be able to add new stuff, and you want to download new stuff and update over the Wi-Fi, I think the addition of Wi-Fi is a huge benefit to it. Now, we are talking about an R36XX which shipped with ArcOS. So it's got a great system. That is another place where currently I feel like it's outshining the BatleXp. So there are two things that I would say that right now make the R36XX have a little bit of advantage over the BatleXp overall. And that is the fact that it ships with ArcOS, it's running and working perfectly, and it has built-in Wi-Fi. Now, ArcOS on the BatleXp, I think, is something that may come. It may come as a fork, it may come through Christian, I don't know. It may even be up and running, you know, from people that have hacked together to it. But the Batocera or EmuLec or whatever that BatleXp has installed is not bad. But again, it's not ArcOS or Rocknix. And so for that instance, you have essentially the R36S, which they just put a Wi-Fi board in there. That's all they did. Now, I don't know if this is from the K36 people. I don't know if it's from the real game console people. I don't know who it comes from for real. But to me, it is just an R36S that has built-in Wi-Fi. You didn't have to solder it. You didn't have to go put a dongle on there. It's in there and it's up and running and it's working. And from a standpoint, these are both running the same CPU. There is no there's no performance gain to be said about these two. They're running similar configurations. They're running similar boards. They're running similar software. Although, again, I'm giving the edge to the R36XX overall. So, let's recap the differences. You only have $45. You're trying to get a 3.5-inch budget vertical. You have a ton of choices. You've seen the little mini that we've done. You've seen the Powkitty's RGB20S. You know, there's the K36, there's the R36 Max. There's just so many to choose from. But for my money, for what I would recommend now that I've seen, and I've played a lot of these, even DataFrog has a pretty decent one. The two that I think that really you should consider are the BatleXp G350 and the R36XX. It's replaced the R36S. I mean, unless there's a color you want for R36S or some other reason I can't think of, these are the two that I would recommend. Otherwise, step up into Anbernic territory. Get a 353V or VS if you want Android and some other stuff going on with it. But if you're staying in that budget, that's it. So, what have we learned here? We've learned that we have two handhelds which have strengths in different areas. They're both worthy of that $40 sub-budget price. And I'm going to have links in the description where you can pick up each one along with some codes to save money on it. But if I only had $40 and I had to choose one of the two, I'm going to go for the BatleXp. I'm a little surprised I'm saying that because I love to be able to download stuff on the fly. But the truth of it is, you're not spending the majority of your time downloading, and I'm not a huge retro achievements person. If I was, I think I'd probably go for the R36XX. So, I think the rumble, the build quality, and the fact that I can snap a dongle in it and hopefully have real ArcOS in the future just a little bit outweighs it. Guys, I can't tell you how nice it is to hold that BatleXp. It's just nice. It just feels nice to hold it. And I remember how surprised I was with the original R36S, how nice it was to hold. So that's it. That's what Dead Fred says. Tell me what you think. Am I off here? Is there one I forgot? Is there some handheld out there? Is the K36 really better in your opinion? I want to know. I want to hear from you guys. What are you going to do about these tariffs? I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, I don't know. So, anyways, that was today's topic. I hope you like this. Dead Fred says he's going to pick the BatleXp, but they're both great handhelds. I've got both. I'm lucky to have both. I'm playing on both, but if I only had to pick one at this point, I'm going with the BatleXp. Although the R36XX has better native software, has built-in Wi-Fi. Let's hear from you guys. Anyways, remember to hug those loved ones and love those hugged ones because tomorrow is never promised. We'll see you next time, Deadheads. Dead Fred out.